so sorry.
Wow.
That was so rude.
We're really close right now.
This is a very small room. Okay, well, hey guys, welcome to episode 13 of In the Bag podcast. I am Kenny B. Hawkins.
I'm Kayla Gamble.
And today we're going to be talking a little bit about manifestation and all that. But before we get started with the podcast, what have you been up to recently? How's your, past couple weeks? I know we've been out because, I've been a little sick and we've been busy with, school and stuff. So what's up?
We took a little hiatus. I have been honestly really just catching up with the semester. Like, this semester has been really chaotic for me. I think the fact that I took on a lot starting out, I didn't realize how much it was going to be for me and how it's hard to time manage and balance everything when you have 7 responsibilities you have to do.
Yeah.
So I think me just trying to figure that out. And then I've just been, I don't know if I talked about this in the last podcast or not, I don't think so, but I applied for the student fellowship that's over the summer. It's called MAPE, and basically it's a multicultural fellowship. So if you if you're not white, they'll accept you, or not that they'll accept you, but
that sounded super bad.
No, that's not what I meant.
You're racist.
No, that's not what I meant. I meant that's what it is though. It's if you aren't white though, you can't apply.
You're saying it's okay. So what you're saying is it's just for mostly
minorities.
Ethnic, minorities.
It's just for minorities basically.
I think that would be the proper way to say that, but it's 2019.
Okay, that's what I meant. But yeah, so I applied for that, and then I actually got to semifinalists, which
so what cool. Can you talk to us a little bit about what the application process was like?
So one, it's an agency thing style. So basically, if you get selected, you get chosen to go to a particular agency. So MAPE is just the company, but then within the company, MAPE is the one who is hey, L'Oreal, here's an intern for you, or hey, Google, you know what I'm saying? So they just kind of help bring out people, but it's all under the MAPE name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just an agency style. You can choose within what you want to do. You can do PR, you can do social media strategy, you can do culture and diversity. You can really do, there's so many different things. So in terms of the actual process, I had to do a video. I had to do all these questions. I had 2 recommendation letters I had to get, and then there's just my school transcripts. So the video process was stressful for me, but
I don't think it was that bad.
It wasn't. It was just because I was rushing. I was procrastinating, so that's why.
At least you're straight up though.
Yeah. So, but I did it though, and then I got semifinalists. So now I'm just waiting for the whole interview process to figure out if I get it or not. So that's cool. But and then other than that, we have a show coming soon.
Yeah, so there's a musical showcase coming November 22nd.
Next Friday.
Yeah, that's next Friday next Friday for right now at least.
Yeah. On November 11th, it's next Friday.
Anyways, so that'll be at Drip Ybor downtown, or not downtown, but in Ybor, you know what I mean? And it'll be cool. We're doing it, hosting it for Wave Theory, the music group that we work with, and they help sponsor our podcast. So just real quick, obviously shout out to Pedro, Perception, Mike Mass, the guys over there, Tampa Bay Wave. Yeah, so the music scene and the underground, not really underground, but the low key music scene in Tampa is pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you're an upcoming artist and you want to start booking shows, maybe do some performances, getting paid, definitely link up with us. Come out to the show on the 22nd, have a good time. There's drinks, $5 cover, so that'll be pretty cool.
Yes. And like he said, we're hosting, so definitely come out. It's our first time hosting, so I'm a little nervous, but it'll be fun. But yeah, so, and because of even just talking about the whole music show and everything, and I think just within this past year, and because our topic for today is talking about manifestation, I think this whole year kind of shows us manifesting things that we want that will kind of just end up happening. But what do you know about or do you know anything about manifestation?
Well, manifestation, like, in terms of my personality, I feel like it just matches up with, because, like, you know me, and I guess now our listeners do too, I guess.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. It's one of those things to where I often speak things into existence. You know what I mean? Into where, like, a lot of people, they'll say things and then not follow through with it, maybe.
Yeah.
Or, like, they just say things and that's kind of that, and they, like, put it out there but never actually take action. I'm, like, the latter type of person in which I take action most of the time. So it's, like, that doesn't really happen without manifestation. It doesn't really happen without at least positive affirmations. That's the word I was thinking of earlier. Affirmations. Yeah. But so yeah, I'm a huge proponent of that, and I wasn't always like that. So it's like I do recognize like it can be hard sometimes, and it can be stressful to like keep a positive mindset and like let things like always like not affect you when it does sometimes. Like everyone has real issues, but I think that's a part of manifestation is like trying to strive and always hope for better, or to, you know, take to that next level.
So the definition by Google
not sponsored
is an event, action, or object that clearly shows or embodies something, especially a theory or an abstract idea. So it's something similar to it is like a sign or anything like that. And so like what I take away from like manifestation is the fact of like, I mean, I'm pretty spiritual. I wouldn't say I'm religious per se. Like I do believe in God and everything. But I just have a lot of questions. So I definitely
everything.
Well, okay. Well, anyway, but yeah. So I have like, but I do feel like I'm more spiritual than religious, and I feel like manifestation definitely is more of like a spiritual mindset, if that makes sense. And I think that when you put things out, and I mean it just goes back to like when you put things out into the universe, like the universe listens. And so for example, like, and this is like with anything, it doesn't have to be any, it can be called so many different things, but like even like somebody who's super negative, who like always is like, oh, I'm gonna fail this, or I'm, you know, I don't have this, or like I'm not gonna do that, like just being negative all the time, like they're probably going to get negative things either happening to them or negative people around them, because like they that's what they like, what's the word, not feed off of, but that's like what they radiate, like
I was about to say radiate.
Like they radiates off of them.
Yeah, it definitely is a draining type of energy, like emotionally draining. Like being around certain people who it's like I call them energy vampires. It's like sucking the life out of you. You know what I mean? And you can get that vibe like not just from people, but you could also get that vibe or like that feeling of exhaustion from like activities, aka work. No shade. My job. But yeah, it's one of those things that you just gotta push through and like stay focused, stay locked in, and that's the biggest affirmation or manifestation that you could do. I also wanted to touch on a little bit how you know what I mean, speaking of manifestation, I manifested into the universe that I could outrun nukes when North Korea goes and blows us up. I'm just saying.
That was probably the most ridiculous
I
conversation.
did not do it. I'm just saying.
So this is what happened, right? So I think it was me, you, Jelani, and Deanna, who were all like sitting on the couch, and we just started watching like random YouTube videos, and we started watching like videos of like nukes, because I never really understood like the like power of them, so I had to see a video. So anyway, we're watching a video, and Kenny goes like, I think I can outrun a nuke, and everybody's like, no, like you can't. And so we looked it up, and like I think it's from here
from North Korea to here, it would take like 8 minutes. I think it would take like, or no, it would take
it was
like
14 minutes, I think, or something like that.
Nah, it had to be actually like 54 minutes because it was 8 miles. That's what it
was. Oh yeah.
It was 8 miles.
It's within an 8-mile radius.
Yeah, it was like 54 or it was like 45 minutes, and I run it in 54.
Yeah. And yeah, so we were like, you're not gonna outrun it. And this is the thing, right? Even if you could run at least 45 minutes, You're still not gonna outrun a nuke though, because by the time you actually know the nuke's coming, it's already too late. You're already going to die.
False. Fake news. I'm too fast.
No.
Never called me. A nuke never called me before, right? Okay then.
Boy. Yeah. Anyway, you never even been through any type of nuke dropping at all.
You'd be surprised, bro. I've been through some crazy activities. We might get into that on another episode when we talk about our personal lives, but like probably not.
Probably not too much.
Yeah, probably not too much.
But I feel like, in terms of realistic manifestations, I feel like they're definitely super important. And this year was my first year where I really sat down with myself and was like, okay, what do I want to accomplish this year? What do I want to do? And I feel like I've really set goals for myself, especially with just being more involved with campus, figuring out like what I want to do career-wise, figuring out more just like even like future things too, like how much I want to travel, everything like that. But yeah, and I also think that like because of that, it just kind of given me more opportunity to be more and more creative with how I think. Even like, and again, this is something that it's definitely still in the works, but I'm putting it out there because it's going to happen. But I always get compliments on my jewelry like all the time. Yeah, and I started like thinking, I was like, okay, I'm buying this like $5 jewelry and like something that I can make myself, probably cuter, and like, so I don't know, it's just one of those things where I was like, okay, I'm getting all these compliments all the time, like why can't I just start my own jewelry business? So I was like, okay, let me just start that. And obviously this is something that it's not going to come out until 2020, but I'm putting out there just because I know it's going to happen. I know I'm going to work for it because I've already had so many like people give me give me like positive energy, just letting me know like, oh yeah, like I can see you doing this, I can see you popping off with it, and it's like, wow, thank you.
That does make sense. Yeah, I think manifestation is something everyone could do. I don't know. What do you think about it's so crazy when I was thinking about manifestation, I was thinking about like how, I don't know why that word just reminded me of the song from Big Mouth. You know what I'm talking about on the episode about Florida?
Oh yeah.
Because I don't know, I felt like it reminded me of the word manipulation, and then I thought about how the little Andrew boy was trying to have sex with his cousin. I don't know. I was like, that is such a weird tangent to go down. But I don't know. It just reminded me of like that's how crazy Big Mouth is. Big Mouth is one of those that like you just think about it, you're like, how is that even like allowed?
I do like the show. It's funny. But no, no, it's funny though. I mean, that Florida thing was accurate too. So
I'm not saying it's wrong. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I can't even be mad, honestly.
Yeah, we all know a couple cousin humpers. Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, a few.
That's so gross, bro.
But in terms of like, okay.
Do you think they manifested that?
We're moving on. So in terms of like, because it's about to be like the end of the year and everything.
Yeah.
And like we're gonna announce when we're taking like a holiday break, but we're gonna take one like probably towards the like a little bit before Christmas starts, just to like recuperate and everything.
Yeah, plan, plot.
Yeah. But I do think though, because it's about to be the end of the year and everything, like what type of things like do you want to manifest in 2020?
Yeah,
the new decade.
Yeah, so for the new decade, like on a personal aspect, I really want to be a little bit more organized. Like I've continued to be organized for this whole semester, and like I just want to keep on that trend and trajectory, like on that path. I just want to keep like being on top of myself, because I feel like this is the first semester in which I had a huge amount of focus daily, you know what I mean, and like energy. I felt like I was in a good place, taking care of myself, and like everything was taken care of, so that's cool. I'm trying to have that keep going, and then also I want to, like, I'm working on businesses. I definitely want to focus a little bit less on a little bit less on work as much as school, I want to really focus on school and the side projects, because I was working a lot just so I could try to like enhance my resume, so to speak. But my resume is looking pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, we've done a lot, and then also, so it's one of those things to where I really just want to stay locked in and now get on my school grind, bust that out, because we're at the finish line for that too. So it's like I feel like everything's coming full circle, 360.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially with school. Like, once 2020 starts, we only have 2 semesters left, and then that's it. So definitely, like, that's going to be pretty. It's going to be essentially pretty life changing once we do graduate, just because like that's our whole like center right now.
Yeah, I think we'll be straight though.
I mean, no, we'll be straight. It's just gonna be different. But I think it'll be nice though. And also, like, for me, in terms of like manifestations, I definitely want to. I didn't even say this. I met a other podcast person.
What's her name?
Her name
was it Allison?
I believe so. She has her own podcast. If anybody wants to listen to her podcast, I believe it's called 10K
Daily or something like that.
Hold on one.
Yeah, I
second.
think I remember looking at that today actually. On our.
It's $10K day. And so like basically like the whole like premise behind it, it's cool. It's with her and her husband, and it's a comedy podcast where basically they have imaginary luxury travel. So each episode is $10,000 that they use to like go on a pretend travel thing, and they basically talk about how they would use a $10,000 in each episode, but for different places.
Yeah,
so it's
like
very unique.
It's like theoretical travel podcast.
Yeah, it's very unique.
So that's cool.
I like the idea behind it. But I met her maybe like 2 weeks ago, and it was really awesome just because I like got knowledge within like the same community of like being in Tampa, especially because she just told me like, and it's just because she started with her husband only a year ago, and like how big they've gotten is awesome.
Yeah.
And she's like, honestly, podcast conventions are like the way to go. Like you network so much. And I definitely want to do that more next year. Go to podcast conventions. I've never been to one, and I think that, you know, because we're so young, I think it's also cool too, because we have kind of a leg up in that sense, because we're coming in essentially like new ideas, fresh ideas, whatever, and are presenting them to all these like different various groups of people, and I think that's cool, especially because I feel like we will be one of the younger people who are going to be there.
So are you tired, or are you tired right now?
Yeah,
I can tell.
You can tell.
It's one of those things.
Yeah. But anyway though, so I think that'd be pretty cool, and also just starting the jewelry business, getting that up and going.
Yeah.
And then also just trying to figure out more so like what direction I want to go in after school. But
that'll come with time though.
Yeah, that's comes with time.
That's what relates to the manifestation thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And just being around positive people.
Yeah, genuine people. That's like a plus.
That's the main thing. I feel like that fuels me in a way. I can have everything else is good, but if the people around me are like not
negative or ingenuine,
it's gonna come off. Like I've had that happen before. I've felt a difference once I haven't been around.
It just saves so much time and energy. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Personally, you feel more at peace when the people you mess with are extremely genuine and like transparent. Honestly, I was also, now that we're like talking a little bit about what we're doing in like our personal hustles, I wanted to talk a little bit about my book. I started working on that, so I like started reworking on that. You know what I mean? Like continuing it, picking up where I left off, which it hasn't been that long, but so I'm making progress with that. I'm trying to release a film component. So I planned it out. This is like the first time I'm actually putting it out there. I'm manifesting it low key, but I plan to have a 100-page book, so it's pretty short. You know what I mean? 10 chapters. And then for each chapter, I plan on making a film component. It'll pretty much flow together, like the film component. It'll be a 10-part series. I think I'm going to put it out on my website and also YouTube, so that'll be cool. I started chatting it up with that filmmaker that
Candace.
yeah, Candace.
Yeah.
Shout out to her, by the way. Shout out to her, honestly. Yeah, we're probably gonna plug her somewhere so you can check out her work. And then yeah, so hopefully I want to get that made. It's should I say the title? Should I say that?
No.
Nah, not yet. Leave some room for suspense.
The thing with manifestation that I will say is, yes, definitely like manifest it. Definitely, if you want to say it out loud, if you want to write it down, whenever you feel like for the universe to hear what you have to say, and for you to believe it. But at the same time, though, don't give too much away because I still believe in jinxing. So just don't give too much away.
That is true, and I have the dedication for the book already posted on my Instagram. It's been posted for like months.
So you've given enough.
Yeah, I've given enough. They can go check that out if they want to go scroll through and search for that. Probably not, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like overall though, like I feel with me manifesting more, I realized I can do a lot more than I thought, and I can achieve a lot more even within a day than I thought I could a year ago. So it's really just about like having like kind of honing in on what you want to do, or what you want to be, whatever it is,
and then just figuring out how to do it.
Exactly. And then just really dedicating. And the thing is that like if something in your life is like making you feel bad or sad or whatever, cut it out. Yeah, and if you can't, because sometimes
sometimes it's not a circumstantial
then find
thing,
extra activities that you can do outside of your day to day that like fuel you,
that you care about, that you're passionate about, that you actually want to do. Because it kind of sucks every day if you like just wake up, like if your schedule is you just wake up, and when you wake up you're surrounded by a bunch of people you don't like, so then you have to go to work. And then you're surrounded by a bunch of people you don't like.
Yeah, that's a miserable. That's a miserable
and then it's
life.
Like,
that's
you
not. I don't think that's
home,
like. Yeah.
And it's like,
I think it's a life that many people get stuck in, but I don't think it's a life that many people want. I just feel like people don't know how to navigate, and even if it can be as simple as just reading a book. Like if that's your thing you like to do.
How many people you think are reading books right now, Kayla?
I'm saying as simple as.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying you have to read a book.
I thought you were like, like back in the day when they did that, you have to read a book at like elementary school. You know what I'm talking about? Like International Book Week.
Yeah, I guess, but no.
I thought you got in teacher mode on us real fast.
No, I like reading, so that's what I was just saying. Yeah. Like for my fellow readers out there, all I'm saying is like if you want to do something as simple as just reading, that's what you can do. Yeah. Or if you want to start a business, if you want to go that extreme.
Now you're talking my language.
Not everybody wants to start a business though, so it's like
sips tea.
Whatever like you want to do, just hone in on it and do it. And like make sure you have a good support system behind you. Make sure that if you need extra income, make sure that you save the amount that you need to in order to do it. But I think everything honestly works out in the end. Yeah. You can only do so much. Everything else kind of, and again, we have I think a different notion when it comes to destiny and everything, or predestination. But I do believe that, in my opinion, that like a person can have various different destinies depending on like they have different destinies depending on what path they choose in their life. But the core though, they're like the same person. It just is depending on actions. So because of those actions, you can do maybe like 4 different paths. But I do feel like some way, somehow, like those paths can, lead you down. So if you're already going down this one path that you can clearly tell is like you're only going up from here, then just keep going down that path, because clearly you're doing something right. And I think at that point it's like, what did people say? It's above me or something.
It's above me. Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah.